Who do I find I'm sharing a garage with but race car champion Randy Pobst. Talked to him for a while and convinced him to get in my car. You can see him counter steering wildly to keep this car on the track. He can enter turn 3 at about 114, 115 miles an hour. He really cuts down turn 3, cuts off turn 4. Welcome back to It's Track Time. So I show up at the June Chen track event, and who do I find I'm sharing a garage with but race car champion Randy Pobst. So he holds records all across the country. He's a phenomenal driver, and he communicates really well. So if you find someone like that in your garage, what do? You get a data lap. So I talked to him for a while and convinced him to get in my car and try to do a data lap. I told him the best lap time I'd ever seen is 2:19, and I knew that would get in his head. He's a very competitive guy, so I knew he would try to get below a 2:19. My goal was to get a data lap that I can compare my laps to see what the potential of the car is and how far off I am. The other thing is that, a guy with that kind of driving skill, he can turn off all the nannies and drive this car completely raw. And so that's what he's going to do. He's going to go out here and shut off the computer. If the computer was masking any of the bad habits of the car, he's going to figure it out real quick. And he can give you some feedback on the setup. So off he went onto the track in the morning session. It's nice and cool, or it's relatively cool for Texas. And here's his first attempt. So he absolutely hauls ass when he goes around the track. Here he is coming through the carousel and into turn 19. You can see him counter steering wildly to keep this car on the track. He's telling me, that, hey, the back end of this car is loose. He comes into 20, excuse me. And you can see the massive counter steer he does there. And he's telling me, yeah, the car is loose on the tail. So he's going to have to try to deal with that. The tires, I warmed them up in the warm-up session for him. So these tires are warm. They're not hot. And this is the first attempt, so this is the best condition the tires are going to be in. It's interesting to see his times and his speeds going through here. So like he can enter turn 3 at about 114, 115 miles an hour. He really cuts down turn 3, cuts off turn 4. He comes through the S's really quickly. You can see he hugs this corner right here like I like to do. Then he really jumps over the 7 apex there. On 8, he straddles like we all do, and then he really jumps over the top of 9, and he comes down through 10 extremely fast. We do about 131, 132 at the end of this straight, and you can see he's going to do 134. And he doesn't even know the car at this point. Comes around turn 11, he tracks out really far out onto the gray. His top speed on the back straight is typically around 156 with the temperature that we have out there. He's got to get around this Miata, and luckily this guy gives him a pass, so he doesn't have to slow down at all. But now he's offline, and he doesn't really come back much online when he goes into 12. Give the guy a wave there. Coming around into 13 and 14, he really hits the apex here. He comes in really tight here on 14, so he can get into 15. He takes a really shallow line through 15. I'm going to try that on my next track event because that's interesting to watch him do that. Then he comes into the carousel and he's really hauling ass through that. He comes in really tight. He tries not to push out. He wants to stay aligned for 19. So you can see him coming in really tight there into 18. And then into 19, he doesn't know about straddling the sausage there, but he ends up doing it on accident once and gets a little bit better time. So here he comes around turn 20. And remember I told him that 2:19 was the best time I'd ever seen. And right off the bat, he puts down a 2:19.11. So now he looks at that time and he's thinking, yeah, I got this in the bag. All I have to do is just shave off 11 tenths and I've got a record here. So here he goes into attempt number 2. So now he's trying to beat that 2:19.11. And you can see right off the bat, he's coming down the front straight and he's already getting some time on that lap. And I think he gets up about a quarter of a second, a third of a second right there coming into turn 2. And he banks a lot of time through the S's, so he can go a lot faster through the S's than that initial lap. You'll see him almost get up to a half a second here as he rips through the S's. There we go. So he's at a half a second now. And now if he could hold that, he'd have a phenomenal time. But as he goes through the S's here, you're going to see that time get whittled down. He keeps whittling it down a little bit. As he comes into 8 here, he's still holding a third of a second. And now he's losing some time there on 9. And then into 10. And now, typically by 11, he's back to parity. And so as he comes around 11 here, he's going to be back to parity. And now he's got to come out of 11 with some power, and it looks like he slid a little bit, so he's got a little bit of a deficit. So now you know he's going to break really late into 12. He's going to try to push this. And sure enough, as he comes down here, he's going to push all the way to the end and then brake, and then he's got to hold that speed. There he goes. He's braking late, and he's got to hold this speed through 12. And there now he's got up to a quarter of a second there. And now he's got to hold this through these tight, slow turns. And he's got a third of a second. So he's doing pretty good. He's probably going to bag this thing and get down into the 218s. There, he's up a half a second. And he's going into the carousel. And let's see how he does here. So you know he's going to take some risk here. He's going to try to push. He knows he has a quarter of a second here in the bank. And he's going to try to push this. Now you can't see the sausage here as you come around 19. And there he hit it. And then the tire jumped off the pavement, spun, and then hit the ground again. And that took away his whole advantage. So now he comes around here and he looks over at the time, and you can see he's pissed because he knew he had that in the bag, and then he let it go there at the very end when he bumped over the top of the curb on 19. So let's see attempt number 3. Now the tires are starting to give up on him. Everything's getting pretty hot. He gives the thumbs up here. He knows he's got it. He just needs to get everything together here. So here he goes again through the S's. The tires are kind of giving up. He's going to try to get some time here. And last time we saw him get up a half a second through the S's. Anytime he slides the car a little bit and counter steers, he loses some time. So he knows that, and he's going to try to do this as smooth as possible. He's already up a quarter of a second here. And we saw him get up to, like I said, a half a second when he went through the S's. And there, he's almost to a half a second. But now he's given up a little bit of time here. So he doesn't, now it's going away here. And so he's watching that time. And now it's back to parity. It's going to push over 9 here and into 10. So now he's going to have to take some risk going through 10. He's going to try to brake late here going into 11. And now he's down a quarter of a second. So now he's like, oh, this is crap. So now he comes around 11, and now he's peeling it away. He's only down a tenth of a second now. So now he's back in the same situation he was in the last lap. He's down going into turn 12. He's going to have to brake late. He's going to have to build up some time there. And then he's going to have to hold that time all the way through the slow pieces and through the carousel and through the 19. There's his late brake. So now he's getting some time back. And let's see how far he goes up. About a quarter of a second here. So now he's got a quarter of a second, and he's got to hold this, and now he's got a third. It's kind of same thing as what happened in the last lap. So now he's got to take this all the way into 19 and not make a mistake on 19. And then he should be able to get a 218. So here he comes into the carousel. He's looking at the time. He knows he's going to try to push this. And he knows he can't make a mistake on 19, even though he can't see the curbing. So here he comes around 19, and he counter-steered there, but he was able to hold the time. So now he's got to be perfect on turn 20. And he comes into 20, he's not counter-steering. It looks like he's going to get it, and sure enough, he gets a 2:18.94. So now he's beat the best time we've ever seen on this car at COTA. He said the tires are gone, so he's not going to try to push it any further. But now here's the debrief. So here's what his opinion is of the setup and everything. It's interesting to listen to.
Want to see where we are? much. Oh, just didn't you tell me that's the holy grail is getting under 19?
Yeah, you got 218.
So that's barely. But the tires just don't have it anymore, you know.
They gave up.
Cold tires, first lap.
It was good.
No, it's going way more. I've never driven a car.
Yeah.
But I do that a lot. I always say that with MotorTrend.
Yeah.
My best lap was my first lap because the tires were fresh.
Yeah, exactly.
Especially new tires.
I know, new tires are...
You gave me a set of new Hoosiers.
Yeah, they're magic.
17.7, I'll bet you.
You think you get to 17?
I'll bet you. Also, take that sway bar down.
Okay.
The
So,
car's
so
just...
it's oversteering for you.
Yeah, I like cars that are super stable so I can haul ass.
Yeah.
I mean, this one wants to, especially on the curves. I don't like the curves.
Okay.
Is it turn 3 under the bases? Especially in the back.
Okay.
If I had a knob, I'd add more rebound in the rear.
Okay.
And maybe the front too.
Because a lot of the guys run MCS out here because of that.
Yeah.
Soak it up.
MCS is a good brand.
Really?
Yeah. And also, is it 9 that leads on to that?
On the short straight, going downhill.
Yeah, you got to hit that rough curve, and it unglues the car.
Like that.
And I have to lift, and I don't want to.
Yeah.
But it's too risky to just mat it.
Yeah.
I'm not young enough to be that stupid. So we're giving up some time there.
Okay.
And then the car just won't stop anymore. The first lap, it just stops so much better.
Because of the tires.
I'm assuming it's the tires.
Yeah.
You probably have some good track pad.
Yeah.
Right? And it just wouldn't stop like it did at the very beginning.
Yeah.
But on the out lap, I immediately noticed the thing was loose.
Okay.
You'll see me on the video. I'm talking to the camera. I'm like, not a lot, but enough that I couldn't trust it to like flat over the curb.
Yeah.
It wanted to spring loose. I would recommend controlling that with more shock damage, especially in the back.
Okay.
Believe it or not, you don't think you want to make it stiffer, right?
No.
But the spring's compressing and then it's leaping it off uncontrolled.
And the rebound would take some of that out.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. If you go too far, then it'll be snappy again, but for a different reason. But you won't feel it extend.
Pop out.
You won't feel it rebound and the rear suspension movement. It'll just bounce right off, hard and flat. It's not doing that.
Okay.
It's soft enough that it compresses and it's rebounding too fast.
Okay.
In the back, especially. This is the car.
Because they put higher spring rates in this car. Yeah, and so some of the guys are putting MCS with even higher spring rates, but I think they're doing that mainly because they're putting more downforce on the car as well.
Maybe, if you had enough.
Yeah. What about the camber? Do you think that some of the braking is too much camber?
No.
Okay, so camber felt good.
Camber's good.
Okay.
These things love that.
Yeah.
How much you got?
3.5 in the front, 3 in the back.
Yeah. No, they love that.
Okay.
Leave it.
Okay.
It's just, the grip was a lot better on the very first one.
Okay.
I didn't know the car.
Yeah.
You need a little careful. This is just like my MotorTrend hot laps. And I passed a guy to me out of here. He gave me a very friendly wave down. I have to thank him. Because I caught him right at the end of the straightaway and I didn't want to give it up. I flashed him, which is kind of rude. And he let me through. So I got to go thank him. But the car stopped, you know. And so even with the pass we were at 19.1, I'm like, shit. Could have been, coulda, woulda, coulda, shoulda. You know, everybody's always, oh, you know. But I tried some more, and I just don't think that I'm going to get any more without
a couple adjustments.
Yeah, fresh tires, probably. We can't do the shocks.
We can. I can put MCS on it.
Oh, yeah, but not right now.
No. I was thinking about doing that
Garmin is so great. The son of a bitch tells you immediately where you are, you know. And as soon as this car slides, boom, 2/10, gone.
It takes it off.
Gone, and they're not coming back.
Yeah. That's it. Yeah, in my last video, I talked about that because when you get down to about turn 11, 12, and you start seeing that thing come off a little bit, then you start taking more risk. And most of the risk is in the carousel and turn 19, because those are high speed, right at the edge of the grip, right? And so you're pushing it, and you should be, to try to make up for a mistake you made back.
Even on that 18, I had a little entry oversteer in 19, wasn't good. And another, on 19.2, I turned too early, because you can't see 19 until you're like in it.
Yeah.
I turned too early and I straddled the sausage.
We always do that.
I straddled it, but I got wheel spin or something, and the tranny went crazy. Or maybe I had a wheel in the air.
Oh.
And I went, there went a couple of tenths. Right there. And then on the 18, I was about 2.5 tenths up into the very last corner, and I felt like I did the corner perfectly, and I lost them.
I lose a lot on turn 20.
I did something better early on, maybe the tires. We can blame the tires.
Yeah.
But I think I was maybe a little too careful. I'm not sure, because I thought I had done it perfectly, and I lost 2 tenths.
Yeah.
Like, that's a lot.
I have that problem too. I don't know. Turn 20, either I'm inconsistent because I always lose about, like you're saying, 2 tenths, 3 tenths there. I'm up
on the Garmin.
On the Garmin, then I
but
lose.
You're losing 2 tenths to yourself.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so that says at some point I did it okay.
If it feels good to you and time's not there, it's probably the tires, because they were clearly better the first lap.
The first time.
Yeah, and the cool weather was
good. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm never going to do that in 100 degrees this afternoon. I don't ever.
Yeah, no, it's not going to happen.
But
don't erase that data, whatever. I want that data bad.
Yeah, 18, 12.
I'm gonna push that to the cloud.
Yeah, and you know those optimals are like dreaming. You know.
Yeah, that's another question I had. Do you ever hit the optimals? Is it possible?
Yeah, if you're super consistent, but your optimal could be kind of slow. If you're consistently kind of slow. And you know, you can always do one corner faster, but it screws up the next.
That's my point.
And those, you can't put them together.
Yeah.
I think Garmin tries to compensate for that, but I don't think it's real.
Okay.
But maybe it is. But this car is also really tricky to be consistent because it's ready to unglue. If you don't drive it perfect, it unglues. And, kind of typical Porsche style. A lot of times regular Porsche drivers don't like my car because I put a lot of understeer on it.
Oh, wow.
Then I go trail brake the shit out of it, and I can trust it.
Yeah.
And I can knock this stuff, you know? And I'm not always...
trying to catch it.
It's not fast. I can see it on this time again. I mean, I already knew it, but as soon as this car did a little... Boom, a temperature, gone. And it ain't coming back.
Yeah.
It's like golf.
Yeah.
You blow a hole, just keep doing your game. You're not going to get it back. It's gone forever.
Yeah.
Do this hole better. Or, no, do this hole normal.
Yeah.
That's what I say. It's just drive normal. Don't try to do more, because you can't do more than you can do.
Yeah.
Normal. Anyway, it was great fun, and I enjoyed the challenge.
Yeah,
it was so close. I'm like, I think we can get it there. Because I was driving better, and I knew everything better, but the car's getting worse.
Yeah.
Especially the tires.
It takes more concentration.
The S's are hard.
Yeah.
Because you got to be right on
the money.
It's just waiting there.
Yeah.
The car could be friendly, and I can be faster.
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about Lars Kern. How good he is. He makes a car that way. That's how the 2 RS are. I don't know if he did this car. Maybe he did.
Bergmeister did this one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, Bergmeister raced for years in 911s. He grew up in the 996s. I think he's comfortable. He's a hell of a guy and hell of a driver. But I think he's dream. Either that or the cars are screwed up.
Well,
This is close. I think if you go down one on the bar,
It's going to be
if it's
close.
understeering too much, trail brake one.
Okay.
I'm cooling off my turbos. I don't have any turbos.
Yeah, I like the trail brake. Yeah, you can kill it. I like the trail brake, so I don't mind that.
Oh, good, good.
So Randy's a phenomenal talent. You get him out on the track, you give him a time, and he's going to find a way to beat it. He has records all over the country. And so if you look at the Garmin leaderboard, and right now he's at number 5 on the list for this year. And you look at right above it, it's a GT4 RS, and he's only off of it by just a few tenths of a second. So he's real close to having like a production car record at COTA. I'm hoping I can get the corrections in there that we talked about on the car, and then get him out here again and see if we can get a fresh set of tires and see if he can get a 217 like he thought he could get. Fun time, had a great time with him. Always a pleasure to hang out with Randy.